Sometimes the most powerful stories aren't about avoiding hardship, they're about refusing to stay down. Today's guest, Scott Cook, has survived a brain tumor, 11 major brain surgeries, a stroke, and countless setbacks. Yet through it all, he kept moving forward. This is a conversation about resilience, purpose, and what happens when you decide not to quit. All right, Scott, why don't you start us off and tell us about your journey?
Okay, sounds great. So back in 2009, I was actually getting ready for to compete in a bodybuilding competition. I thought I was going to be a pro bodybuilder, and so I was getting ready to compete. And one day, it was actually in April. I collapsed in my house. I couldn't move, so my wife rushed me to army called the car and then got in the car and she rushed me to the hospital. And after a lengthy exam with the ER doctor, I was sent for a CAT scan. And the CAT scan revealed the problem. There's a plum-sized mass they grew over the base of my brain and clogged drainage. So there's no drainage that just ran in my brain, which is water in the brain, and it frozen me up and I couldn't move. And then part of this was found that I had this. I was shipped up to Hamilton, which is a city outside of where I live. I was operated on that night. The first operation was just kind of tip. I was exploratory. Didn't get much of the tumor. So then went back in to get more in there. I guess because the tumor was located to blow my brain away to get up under the tumor. And I didn't, like I said, solve any dodge. They couldn't attack the tumor, so they only got 30% of it, and they closed it back up. And I was mangled from the two operations, and so they told me the only way I could go home was if I climbed the flight of stairs outside of my room, and somehow I climbed the flight of stairs. I went home, and they should have let me go home because when I went home, my shunts slowly got clogged with brain fluid and blood and stuff, and then I got hydrocephalus again, and I had to get rushed back down to the hospital again and go through it all over again, getting my shunt revised and the attack more of the tumor and everything kind of settled down after that. And they told me that I'll probably never have kids and never walk again. And slowly I just didn't give up. I'd researched the right foods to eat and what to do, and I just slowly went back to the gym and rode the bike. And slowly by riding the bike, I got confidence enough to start lifting weights again. And so like I said, I was right into nutrition and finding out the best things to do as far as recovering. And I was able to start weight training again. And weight training, for some reason, I think it just gave me the confidence and the strength to be able to live through anything, just battle. And that's my whole story is about, brother, is that we're all stronger than life gets terrible. Life can get really, really terrible, but we are really, really strong. It's not believing God, it's believing in ourselves. We're incredible. We can overcome anything if we just try. It's easier
Yeah.
to give up. It's easier to give in. But what you give is what you get. So if you don't give up, if you don't give in, then you're able to get really anything. Because I was always told that I would never have kids because of everything I went through. That my body would never recover enough to have children. I get two kids, brother. Two, a 14-year-old
That's
son,
awesome.
yeah, and a 12-year-old daughter. I'm like so lucky, and I've been able to become a dad and raise them, and teach them, and really inspire them to know that they're incredible and they have strength and power over anything that can happen in life. So that's what my story is about. Is just what we can all overcome any obstacle if we believe we can. That's what it's not believing it's believing in ourselves, believing in our talents, our abilities, and our skills, and our ability to overcome any obstacle. Because if you believe it, you will achieve it, you know?
Hmm. It's really cool. I admire the resilience that you've been able to gain through all of this, through all the hardships. Not a lot of people do that. But
Well,
my question for you is, what do you remember feeling when you received the diagnosis? Like when you
well,
learned that you had
I
the
feel
mass
felt
on your brain.
I felt kind of like dead man walking. That's why it felt like all the doctors and all the nurses and all the everyone was like, "Good luck, son. Best luck to you." And then when I went in the ambulance to Hamilton, a chaplain came with me. I would imagine to give me my last rites because I didn't think I was gonna survive the trip to Hamilton. And I made it through, and I got through, and now I'm here. So I'm telling you that this human spirit is stronger than things that terrible, and we can overcome any obstacle if we don't give up. That's that's my truth, anyways.
That's
So
that's awesome. And when you reached out to me, you said you've undergone 11 major brain operations.
yeah,
Was there like a certain surgery that comes to your mind where the recovery was harder than another?
well, I would say after my last shunt operations was when everything was so much harder because I had the stroke, and the stroke like left me in a wheelchair, and I had to come to the wheelchair, and now I'm in a walker. So like just getting out of the wheelchair and going back to the gym was so difficult, but we have it in us if we don't allow ourselves to feel, well, this is too much. I can't handle this. If you go after your dream and you dream big, you can achieve anything. I'm telling you, brother.
It's so true. So true.
It is.
And as with you're a really upbeat person. So and I love that. I think that's great. Was there any ever a moment where you felt like giving up?
You know what? I can't say I always had the ambitions, and those kind of pulled me through the hard times when I told myself when I wanted to give up. You know, I just kept on keeping on, and I was able to stride, and because I was able to, I reached for it, I was able to grab it, and that kept me going. So no, I didn't really have any time where I doubted myself. I just knew that this was an obstacle that I had to overcome, and how do I overcome it, you know?
Yeah. I think more people need to think like that.
Yeah. Well,
It's not very often where it's like, "Go ahead."
no, that's what we are all created to be, man. It's survivors, you know. I'm not the only one. We are all survivors. We just got to choose to be strong, not give up, not do what's easy, you know. It's easier to give up. It's easier to give in. It's easier, like I said, to say I can't do it. But you got to remember you're strong enough, you're good enough, and you can overcome any obstacle. You know what I'm talking about?
Mhm. Of course I do, and it's in the and I feel like during some of my hardest times, though, my problem was I didn't have the correct mindset because I feel like all of this about overcoming and, you know, getting over your life challenges is having the correct mindset and thinking the right way.
For sure. 100%. But like I said, what you give is what you get.
And when they told you you would never walk properly, speak properly, or have a family, what was it like hearing those predictions?
I just didn't believe it. I believed that I would overcome it. And I've been able to overcome it all, you know? So just don't believe that you can't do it. You believe in what you achieve, like I said. So you gotta believe that you can do it and you will do it. You gotta put in what it takes to make it happen. And I was willing to do that. And that's why I think I overcame everything. Not that I'm better than everyone. I just didn't give up. Like I said, what you give is what you get. So
Yes, for sure.
yeah,
And what would you say were some of the biggest challenges during rehabilitation?
I would say for me, every night when I would go to sleep, my shunts, because I have a bunch of shunts in my head that drain food off from my head and my stomach and stuff. So I used to throw up every morning because the shunts would drain my stomach and make me throw up. Just getting up and throwing up and continuing the day. It was the hardest part. But like I said, was amazing. I had an amazing support group and I had family, so I didn't have any excuse to be for me. I had stuff I had to do, so I had to accomplish it, or I didn't get done. So I'm lucky that I had a family and I had purpose. Because without purpose, people perish. So you need purpose to overcome stuff. And I had the reason to overcome, so the purpose gave me the strength to endure all the poop that I had to go through.
Hmm. I love that finding purpose. That's been a huge thing on my podcast is the ability to find purpose to help you push through life's obstacles. A- And so, how did bodybuilding enter your life, and why did it become important to your recovery?
Well, it's funny because in high school, I was always a little small, little kid, and my mom's cousin is James Cameron, the director producer of Terminator. So I always knew about Arnold Schwarzenegger. I was always really into bodybuilding, trying to look like him. So that's what got me into working out. And then I just got really good progress and ended up saving my life from brain cancer. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's. I think it's awesome. I love that you. Uh, I just love the mindset that you have. You just send off a very positive vibe.
Cool. That's what I'm
It's
here for,
it's
man. That's why I survived, brother,
it,
is to share.
yeah, and that's why I started this podcast is so people can come on and share their stories because I feel like we're all going through something. It might be a little bit different, but at some point the stories do overlap a little bit, but
Sure,
just in different ways. Like,
for sure. Well, like I said, if I can share my serve strength, help other people be strong to overcome what they have to deal with, then my journey was worth it. So accept what you give is what you get. So if I can give inspiration that I get inspired to overcome even worse stuff, this can happen. That's called life. Life,
mhm.
sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. Sometimes things go real well, and sometimes they don't. So you gotta just go with it. Go with the wave in a sense.
Yeah, for sure. And during your darkest moments, like when maybe you were recovering from surgery, maybe it was when you were diagnosed. Like, what did fear look like to you? Was there any fear that like entered your mind? And
Just really just the fear of death, brother. The fear of that I wouldn't be able to have a family like I wanted and live my dreams in bodybuilding like I wanted. But because, like I said, they didn't give up, I was given a second chance, you know? And I'm not gonna let the second chance go.
and was there ever a time that you'd say that your mental health was affected by this that it had a negative impact on your mental health?
Well, I would say, honestly, it maybe just made me have a bad memory and be like kind of slower, but it has made me stronger. And if I wouldn't have gone through what I went through, I wouldn't be the man I am today, the father I am today. So it was worth going through the pain to see the gain, you know?
Uh-huh. Yeah, for sure. It's sometimes hard to believe that we have to go through this garbage to become the person who we are. We I think growing up, you almost expect life to be easy and oh, like nothing bad's gonna happen, but that's not the truth.
Yeah, it's not the truth at all. The truth is the testing ground and how much can you handle. That's what it is. If you make it through with a positive attitude, you'll make it through. But if you don't, then you won't, you know? That's my opinion.
And today, what would you say are your biggest motivators? What motivates you the most to keep pushing forward?
I would say my kids. I'll motivation my kids. Just helping them do better than I did. Be more prepared than I am, you know? Sort of all this I went through poop to tell them how to avoid it, you know? That's what they need to I'm here to help them realize they're strong then things are terrible and don't dwell on things, but devote yourself to being the best you can, you know? You have a choice. You choose to do the best you can or you choose easy. Easy come, easy go. So no easy way, brain.
For sure, I love that because I'm right there with you. My family in general, my kids and my wife are my biggest motivators. Since a lot of the times why I keep pushing forward and move beyond and try to become a better person.
Yeah, brother. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That's great.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, we just had our fourth kid, so it's
Cool.
been some busy times around our house.
Imagine. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So beyond your survivor story, who is Scott? Like you're a bodybuilder, a survivor of you have a major brain surgery survivor story or bodybuilding.
Well, I love to hang with my kids. I love to eat food that I shouldn't eat it.
I'm right there with you, man.
Yeah, yeah. I like to hang out with animals and listen music and be normal, you know, like I'm an everyday person. I just didn't give up, didn't give in to all the horrible stuff that happened to me. I'm not special, I'm not important. I'm just me, you know, like all of us.
Yeah, for sure. And can you thinking back to like your hard times, were there any just small victories during recovery that meant everything to you that kind of gave you the will just to keep pushing forward and keep going?
Brother, every victory, even going to the washroom by myself. Because when I first got out of treatment, I had the catheter and I was just horrible. So everything was a victory for me. And then when I started going back to the gym, just riding the bike, I felt like $1 billion. And then when I started weight training, and then when I started, the best thing for me, my opinion, is when I weight training and I get to tell some of my story and inspire them to go harder, you know? I I don't have any hard times or bad times. I don't want to complain. I can't complain. I'm the luckiest guy on the planet, you know?
Yeah, that's I really do. I've said this a million times, I know, but I love your attitude.
Oh, thank
Do
you.
you
That's
remember a time though?
likewise. Serpent?
Was there ever a time where you? Yeah, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, just saying thank you. That's who I am. Is this who we all are, man? We all can be this if we choose it. We are all stronger than things that are terrible. We just don't believe in ourselves. It all comes down to it's not a belief in God. It's a belief in ourselves that we can make it. And then faith is just doing things we gotta do to make it happen. I'd get up on time every day. I'd eat spinach and whole wheat grains and lots of protein to accomplish what I would have done. So that's why I did it, because I did what I had to do. Was it easy? No. Was it challenging? Yes. But I did it. So we can all do it. I just want to be inspiration to people that they can realize that they're stronger than things that terrible. That's all.
Yeah, for sure. So I kind of ran into this problem, and maybe I'm curious to know if you ever asked yourself the same question. But so I had some medical problems back starting in 2009. And did you have this problem where I always asked, why me? Why did this happen to me? Did you ever go through those thoughts?
I don't want to say no, but I don't recall think that way. I just recall thinking of how I can be better, like how I can jump past this hurdle. I don't remember everything was me. I don't.
That's a good attitude to have. I need to I need to follow your footsteps there.
Well, bro,
But
I'm just an example. That's all I am is an example. You don't have to. I'm just an example.
yeah. And what would you say are what is something that people misunderstand about brain cancer survivors?
That we did it to ourselves. So I can't hear you. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
It's like 2 seconds, but you're good. You're back now.
Okay. What was the
Yep.
question? Did you get my
It
answer?
was yeah, I heard that you did it to yourselves. What is
Yes.
something people misunderstand about brain cancer survivors? That just sounds really frustrating.
That we did it to ourselves. That somehow it was our fault that it happened. We're the truant drinkers or drugs or whatever you want to say, that it happened because of that. It's just a genetic thing that was a whoops, and it was a bad, all the things that built up to it was promoting it, and then boom, it happened.
Uh huh. Yeah, and that's funny that people you have people that think that way though. That yep, because of what I did, it just came on. It's all my fault that this happened. No, no, that's usually not how things work.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that uh, you know, you kind of had to learn things over. What would you say is the most difficult part of learning to trust your body again?
I would say just doing it. Just keep, just make it happen and overcoming the negative doubts in your mind. The devil telling you you're not good enough, or you can't make it, or you can't overcome. Just push it out and believe in yourself. Yes, I can overcome. Yes, I have the ability. Yes, I have the skills. And just it's
Very well
about
said.
following. Yeah, it's just about following the faith to make it happen. So I had to get up on time every day. I had to eat the foods I need to eat every day. I had to go to the gym. and train hard every day. That's what I had to do, and I did it. And then now look where I am, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And what milestone when it came to when it's come to your uh, you as a survivor are you most proud of?
My kids. Because I was told I wouldn't have kids. And I got myself back up and got myself in shape enough and was able to give my testosterone going again. And I had kids, man. So it proved everything wrong, you know. It proved the doctors wrong. It proved everyone wrong. Not that I'm better, but that we can overcome anything, man. That's what it's about, you know.
Yeah. And for those that are uh, maybe getting diagnosed with uh, brain cancer or anything similar, and hearing about it for the first time, what advice would you give to somebody that's going through that right now?
Never give up. Like I said, what you give is what you get. So don't give up. Give it your all and learn how to overcome. That's all you can do is learn. You just listen and learn and try to find examples of what you want to accomplish. You know, like find people that survived it, find people that beat it, go to meetings, go to different places and figure out that whoa, people have done this. I can do it too, you know?
Very well said. But what do you think when it comes to recovery? What would you say is took you the longest to learn?
Uh, I would say the longest to learn would be my speech back. I like, yeah, I used to struggle a lot with finding the proper words to say, and now I feel like it's flowing a lot better. So I would say that's the hardest thing that's come back.
Yeah, yeah, I could see that being a challenge. It's I've had seizures since 2009, so it's like I there's times after a seizure where it's like I can't think of the right word to say, and I'm just super confused, and that's always really hard to like be around people when I'm recovering from a harsh seizure, so I can relate to you in a little sense of what that
Well,
would be
for
like.
sure. Well, we need to all relate to each other. You know, we just have to want to relate to each other.
Hmm.
So,
For sure.
yeah. Like I said, man, we're stronger than things that are terrible. You know that. You're doing a whole podcast about it, you know? Like you interview people
Hmm.
all the time that have overcome craziness. So you've interviewed lots of people. That's the way it is. We can all be that way. It's not just the people you interview that are special. We're all special. We gotta realize that we're all stronger than things that are terrible. Like you say, you know, that's what it is.
Hmm. For sure. I just have a few more questions here for you. Uh, what would you say was the lowest point of your recovery?
Honestly, I don't even say I had a low point because I don't even remember a low point, brother. I just remember overcoming obstacles, and stepping forward all the time, getting hit back and punched back, and overcoming again, overcoming again. That's what life is all about. Is overcoming. You know, that's my opinion.
Hmm. Just like I said, I once again I admire your willpower just to keep pushing through everything. And
Thank you.
because during some of my hard times, I was not like that at all.
Right.
Uh, so what do you Let's see. I just lost my train of thought. Where? Let's see. I'm trying to think. Give me 1 second. I had
No
the
problem.
thought and then I lost it.
No problem.
So how did here it was. Okay, sorry. How did becoming a father change your perspective on everything that you've had to go through?
It didn't really change my perspective. It cemented my perspective. Like it made me
Hmm.
totally realize that it's the truth. And if I just go that path, I can accomplish anything. Like I said, we're all so strong. We just don't believe we are. I overcame the craziest obstacles and I still was able to give and become my dreams. So we all can. We just can't believe in pain, believe in failure, believe in excuses. We are to not give excuses, not, like I said, believe in pain, not give up when it gets hard.
A- And for somebody out there that may feel like giving up, what do you say to that person?
I say, but you give what gets. Don't give up. Don't give in because you can't predict the future. You can make the future, but you can't predict it. So just don't tell yourself, I'm not going to be able to make it. Try. That's my opinion.
And kind of just let's see. What has bodybuilding taught you about discipline?
But taught me to be tough. It taught me to be disciplined. Taught me everything. Like, get ready for a show. You have to be so disciplined with your food and when you get up and when you train and how you train and everything. So it's like bodybuilding and training and everything prepared me to be able to overcome what I had to go through because it gave me discipline. It taught me all the things I need to know to be able to respond like it did and like I said, overcome all the obstacles that I've had to overcome. They're the best. It's crazy that I got into it because I got into it and the end of high school. I told you, because Arnold and it
Mhm.
was saving my life, man. Give me a family and like against all odds.
Yeah, I think it's great that you have had something to like fall back on and just lift your spirits up and be like, this is what I want to pursue. I still want to do this.
For sure. I'm the luckiest man on the planet, dude. That's why I give so much because I'm so lucky that I got what I have.
And I just barely asked you the same question about being a brain cancer survivor, but I'd like to switch it over to being, having a stroke, being a stroke survivor. What do you think uh, people misunderstand the most about being a stroke survivor?
But I think people misunderstand because, well, for myself, is I look this way that I do, that they don't believe that I have obstacles still with balance and speech and all the things that I still have challenges with. They would blame other things like when I remember when I used to go to the bar when I was younger, I would get kicked out or they wouldn't let me in because they said I was drunk. I just told me I couldn't walk very well because of my brain tumor. But they wouldn't let me in because
Mhm.
that's what they'd say. And it was just a brain tumor, so I guess that's a negative for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And kind of just two follow up questions here for you. Where can people find you?
I am not. I'm just trying to get into social media. I That's what I want to do is become a motivational speaker and talk to people, encourage people to not give up. when things get terrible and to believe in the strength. That's all. I don't know where to go or how to platform myself to it. I have nothing. I'm starting off at the very basic bottom. You were one of the first people that responded to me. I said, and plus I did. I don't know if you just watched the RX Muscle interview he did with Dave Palumbo. That he responded to me too, so I did an interview with him. But you're the only other guy that's responded to me, so that's amazing. I thank you for giving this opportunity and allowing me to explain and hopefully help people.
Yeah, for sure. I love talking to anybody. I love hearing the stories. That's why I do this. The the last thing I have here is we discussed quite a few things. Is there anything that we did not bring up that you would like to?
No, I just want to remind people that, like I said, they're stronger than things are terrible, and that when poop hits a fan or when they trip on the sidewalk of life, look back and don't focus on the crack that tripped you. Focus on the daisy growing out of the crack that tripped you. You know what I mean? That's all I could say.
Awesome. I love it. And, well, Scott, thank you so much for joining me today and telling your story. I really admire the resilience that you've built up in your life and how you're able to overcome the challenges that you're facing. You just have this willpower that shows I'm going to keep going. I think people can learn a lot from that.
Well, thank you, Travis. I'm just a human being like everyone else. You know, I just believe that's the only difference. You know what I'm talking about with not giving up and not giving in. It's all it is, you know.
Yeah, awesome. And thank you to all the listeners out there. Please follow us and give us a review. It would help us out a lot. Thanks again. Until next time.